Well, Donovan, it is such a pleasure to talk to you today. We met earlier this summer, got to know you a little bit, love what you're doing with your life, and wanted to share that. So, thank you for being here. And maybe just to start this off, you can just give the readers a little background into you, and in particular, some of the achievements that you have had from a young age in through today.
Well, thank you, Gail. It's great to finally have the chance to sit down and do this with you. But to introduce myself, I'm Donovan Tildesley. I'm 26 years old, Vancouver native. I was born completely blind, condition known as Leber's amaurosis. I was born without retinas, but that hasn't stopped me from pursuing a whole wide array of different sporting and social activities. I've been on skis since the age of 3. I ran cross country in elementary school, and the sport that's probably taken me the furthest is swimming. I started swimming at the age of 9, and I've competed in 3 Paralympic Games, Sydney, Athens, and Beijing, and won multiple medals there and set some world records. And 2 summers ago, I just took up the game of golf. And I do work. I'm not just a man of leisure, unfortunately. I'm a full-time insurance broker as well as a public speaker.
So let's keep talking about your story. You've done some pretty crazy things in your life. Maybe you can share what you've done there.
I guess you could say I live on the edge and have had some crazy adventures. Where do I start? I guess skydiving last summer for my 25th birthday. My best friend and I thought, why not give this a try? We had talked about it for a while, and let me tell you, when I was up at 10,000 feet, I was I was almost chickened out of jumping out of that plane, but luckily we were in tandem. The guy gave me a push. For the first few seconds, there was a rush of incredible fear, and then the wind picked me up like a blanket, and I flew down to 3,000 feet, or 3,500 feet on a pocket of air. The funny thing about that was I remember as we stopped and the fellow pulled the chute, I turned around to him and said, "Wow, I think I got my vision back." This very, stoic Australian guy says, "Yeah, you did?" He believed me. I said, "Yeah, I can see." Panicked by this time. "What can you see?" "I can see the sun." "Oh, where is it?" "Over here, man," as I point in some random direction and start laughing, and he finally got the joke. But that was incredibly exhilarating. Skiing is also something that I love to do. There's nothing more in life that I enjoy than being at the top of a double black diamond run and knowing that I and only I can get myself down there. When I guess I was about 9, I'd been skiing for 7 years, and I remember hearing a story from my guide. No, I remember hearing from my guide about this run called the Sudan Couloir. I think I asked, well, where's that blasting coming from? They were dynamiting that morning. He says, over on the Sudan. I said, well, what's the Sudan? And he describes this run with a 57-degree angle, and that if you fall, you don't get up until you hit the bottom. And somehow, in my little 10-year-old brain, I figured that I wanted to ski that run. And I remember bugging the heck out of this guy and my dad for the rest of the week wanting to ski the Sudan Couloir. And, of course, they wouldn't let me. I wasn't a strong enough skier. But 5 years later, that dream became a reality, and I've been ripping down double black diamond runs ever since.
Oh, wow. I've seen the videos of you doing that, and I'm telling you, that just scared the jeepers out of me. I can't believe that you do those things.
Well, I guess not having sight is somewhat of an advantage there. I don't really know what's in front of me. All I know is it's just this steep mountain, and I put my hands in the trust of a competent guide who's skiing behind me, and 9 times out of 10, I don't have a major accident, and usually the one time it's nothing more than just a bump or a bruise.
Well, that's still amazing. Well, let's move on to some of the things that you do when you're not risking your life. The public speaking that you do. How often do you do that?
Well, Gail, I speak to a whole array of different audiences. Quite often it's school kids, especially in the last year leading up to the Paralympics. There was always a need, a demand to bring athletes in to talk to the kids. And it's also I talk to corporate groups and charity groups. Last year I gave an excellent a presentation to Century 21, a real estate convention of brokers and managers. I'm going to be speaking to a group through a company called Make Your Mark out in Langley in the next couple of weeks, a seminar called The Power in You. I basically stand up there and tell them my story and encourage them to overcome their own obstacles and challenges,
Mm.
because everybody at different times in their lives have kind of a invisible wall, a comfort zone that is often difficult to push through. I know
Mhm.
myself, I do for certain things too, despite the fact that I've achieved some success in the pool and on the ski hill and on the golf course. I have barriers to break through as well. And what I do by standing up in front of these audiences is encourage everybody, school kids, business people alike, to achieve their dreams, follow their dreams, achieve their goals, and believe in themselves. And what I hope is when I speak that I will encourage at least one person in an audience to take a plunge, to do something that scares them, and to ultimately become a better, happier, more well-rounded person.
Well, you've certainly set an amazing example for all of us, Donovan, and thanks so much for sharing that. I now look forward to talking to you about your golf game in part two of this interview.